Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome back to Miracles with Mary. In this video, I'm going to be talking about numerology, all about Life Path 1, the leader. So before we start, make sure to give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more interesting videos. So for Life Path 1, I'm going to be talking about symbolism of one, traits of one life path, purpose, your gifts, your shadow side or challenges, and how you can grow and develop. I'm also going to be talking about careers and professions most suited for a leader, and just a few famous people. As you can already see in my thumbnail, I have Nikola Tesla, Martin Luther King Jr., Lady Gaga, The Weeknd, Steve Jobs, and Doja. That's how you say it, Doja Cat. Yeah, just let me know if I'm pronouncing it right. And so all these are one life path leaders, and they really stand out, and they really strive to be the best at what they do, which is what a leader does. So I've been practicing numerology for 13 years, the past 2 years professionally, and now I finally decided to put all that knowledge online, starting with life paths 1 through 9, and then Master 11 and Master 22. So let's get started. Okay, so with the symbolism of 1, in general, I think of the sun, the father, represents God, source, universe as well. The masculine, a new phase. When you see repeating numbers of 1, it means a new beginnings, new phase. It also represents birth, creation versus destruction, awakening, progression, your creative spirit, and the union between man and God. So let's talk about the science first. Symbolism, an example. So number 1 is the atomic number for hydrogen, and life is mainly composed of hydrogen, which produces energy. So it represents energy, like everywhere, life. That's what 1 represents. And then in the Bible, I found a quote from John 1:1, which is, "In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God," which symbolizes thought manifesting into physical form. So your word is your command, and what you say or what you think will manifest into reality. And then when we were looking at astrology, the sign of Aries represents 1. It is the first zodiac sign, and Aries people are brave, passionate, motivated. They are confident leaders. They're generally happy, and they have fierce determination, and that's true for 1 in numerology. For tarot, 1 represents the magician card. When you get the magician card, it means manifestation. So you have the willpower, you have the magic, and you are very capable of achieving your goals. And then I have a river analogy that represents a 1 life path. So with a river, you must let the water or the energy flow naturally, with such an abundance of energy, and it's surging. And with that river, it demands movement and expression, and if the river is blocked, then it can cause destruction. So 1 life paths have a lot of life force energy, and they need to use it creatively. And once the river has a compelling force, then nothing can stop it. So that's where the fierce determination is. Once a 1 life path has their eyes set on a goal, nothing can stop them, just like a surging river. So universally, I just think of 1 representing life, unity, power, creation, manifestation, and consciousness. So let's go over traits with a 1 life path. So 1 life path leaders, they are independent, hardworking. They desire to be the best. They value independence, individuality. They like to think for themselves. They're usually free thinkers. They like to do things differently. And they like being in charge of their own life. And also with a 1 energy, it tends to be a very popular personality. So they're popular with a lot of people in general. 1, it has the biggest range of expression more than any other number. So they're in a ton of fields and careers. So with that range, they can be very, very adaptive. And with that range, it's like they either know exactly where they're going or they're completely lost. And they can be the most confident person in the room or the most insecure person in the room. It's like never in between. And they can even be extremely successful or living a mediocre life. And they can be creative or destructive. It just depends if their expression is flowing freely. 1 also represents the ego as well in numerology. So 1 life path leaders are constantly working through their self-esteem, accepting themselves. They tend to be very self-aware people and self-motivated. When they walk into a room, they have an air of assurance and confidence. They're also strong in giving their opinions, and they're very clear on who they are. They will stand out. So with all those traits, 1 life paths are very capable of achieving high success. They're always shooting to be number 1 at what they do, and they have a competitive streak. They're usually the first to do something as well. So now we're going to get to the purpose of a 1 life path leader. So 1 life path leaders, just like in the title, you must lead. You cannot get lost in the crowd. And when you lead, people are happy to follow. Leaders tend to create trends. So you must be introducing new ideas, imagine new things, and like I said, start trends. So I can really, like Steve Jobs is the top example for it. He's very innovative. He's different. No one can be like him, and he always strives for excellence. He's a perfect example of a 1 life path. So what you do best, my 1 life paths, are channeling your high energy into creativity and service. Adapting and adjusting are your strengths. So 1 life paths tend to be original and innovative. And you can also help people adjust to life changes as well. So you do best nurturing other people, the best in others, nurturing the best in others with your powerful leadership and fearlessness, because 1 also is a number of courage. And then let's get on to gifts, or your light side. So when you are in the positive, when 1 life paths are in the positive, they are creative, they are self-aware, they have a unique vision. They're very individualistic people. They are leaders, independent, they have tremendous focus, courage, willpower, a force, and they are unstoppable when they go after their dreams. They have a lot of life energy, sexual or creative, and they're usually they're closely linked, the sexual and creative energy. And so that means you must express it and release it. And that energy flourishes best when you have inner security. When you have that inner security, you're not afraid of failing. You're not afraid of being odd or strange or taking a risk, making some mistakes, and having the courage to face your fears. When you do have the freedom, when you're in an environment that allows you to be free to express yourself, you can bring so much excitement into other people, so much excitement into the air. If it does get blocked, it will lead to frustration, irritability, and also a short temper. So your assertion, life path ones have an assertion and high optimism. They tend to not have boundaries with where they want to strive towards. So it helps lead them to high achievements, and it's honestly very inspiring to watch them succeed. Just like, again, Steve Jobs, I'm going to mention him a couple more times. So they have a lot of strength in pushing people towards excellence and success. On the shadow side, or the challenges of a one life path, some of the qualities, it would be on the negative. If you're living on the negative, it would be feeling loneliness, because maybe your ego or insecurities could get in the way. And since it represents the ego, you could be too self-centered, bossy, maybe have a lack of confidence, or abusing your power. So that arrogance, it can lead you to dominate others, which would cause disharmony. So it's best to avoid that by controlling your ego. And also, one life paths who are very insecure with something, it could manifest into somebody who is extremely competitive, just to avoid looking foolish. So it's just to compensate for a small feeling inside. And also, since one life paths have such a pioneering spirit, they tend to experience more doors that are closed, but you're meant to keep experiencing that. Just remind yourself, when one door opens, and just turn around, there's more door. When one door closes, just turn around, there are more doors to open. Also, developing self-discipline is going to help with emotional insecurity as well. So with the one life path's life force energy, again, when it gets suppressed, it could be destructive. And also, if sometimes when you are convinced of something, sometimes it's impossible to talk you out of it. So listening to constructive criticism sometimes. I know that when one life paths, when people tell them what to do or how to be, they tend to be rebellious or defensive. But for ones, you are your own worst critic. It's like when you first enter an environment, just like a job, you could be constantly feeling like somebody is trying to be better than you, or somebody is trying to make you feel less than. So that's just inner turmoil to heal. So again, the creative energy is your number one gift. And if it is blocked, so you one's constantly learn how to remove those blocks. When it is blocked, again, it would lead to feeling stuck or frustrated, feeling lethargic. It could also lead to illness as well. And they could end up self-medicating, or it could lead to addiction as well. Again, like one life path, very creative energy or destructive energy. It just needs, you gotta do something to let it flow. So with that, we're gonna go on to growth and development. So with ones, you have such a high potential to excel in your own field. And as you're growing up, there's a tendency to become lost and conform to society and accept mediocrity. Don't depend on the approval or validation from others to recognize your potential. You got it. Practicing meditation is going to help you center yourself, be in touch with your own strengths, which one life paths have a lot of. And it's also going to help you develop awareness around the world. Instead of, some of them tend to stay in their own bubble, because again, like it's about the ego. When ones do enter a career field, they tend to be very scholarly or an expert at it. And so that's one thing I recommend, is like find what's one thing that you can really, really put all your life force energy into and express it freely. That's when magic happens. And also, ones are very lucky with money. Like, they're very inventive. Creativity attracts money and success. As long as you just keep going with that fierce determination, just like Steve Jobs. I mean, he was kicked out of his Apple originally. So yeah, if it's like, so realistically, it's kind of hard to be 100% secure with who you are completely. And I would suggest it's just taking one step at a time. If not feeling secure with one thing, then your task is just to tolerate insecurity, which is completely fine. I have an affirmation for you, which is, I am enough, I am a miracle, and I am the best at what I do. And I would say that would be one of the best sayings for a one life path. Constantly feeling like they need to measure up to something else. They have very high standards for themselves. Let me tell you, you are enough. We are enough, and you are a miracle, and you can be the best at what you do. So now that leads to careers and professions. So one, leaders tend to excel and dominate in their profession. So you must channel your high energy through arts, through healing. Ones also have healing hands as well. Getting into sports, technology, or running your own business. So some examples, becoming an artist, a designer, like interior or an architect, becoming an editor, consultant, teacher, speaker, author, director, inventor, activist or advocate, like MLK, working in professional sports or entertainment, being a life coach, because again, ones are very good at motivating others, being an entrepreneur, like running your own business, being a political figure, because they tend to rise to the top to the top of the pyramid, being a business executive or a tech or app developer, because apps are like they're innovative. You have a lot of room to invent and improve humanity. So besides the 6 people that I put on the thumbnail, other one life paths are Adriana Lima, Osho, Margot Robbie, Justin Trudeau, Ozzy Osbourne, Shakira, Prince, Eminem, Henry Ford, Walt Disney, Miley Cyrus, Scarlett Johansson, Sir Isaac Newton, Tuvlo, Shaquille O'Neal, George Washington, who's the first president of the U.S., and Prince Harry. So all the people that I mentioned, they do their best having creative control. and they're the best at what they do. Nobody can be like them. Like, for example, Eminem, Disney. Miley Cyrus really stands out, and especially Lady Gaga too. And Lady Gaga has been through a lot of bullying, learning to accept herself, just accept the insecurity that she's going through, and her drive for success is extremely inspiring for other people. So that is all for One Life Paths. If you have any questions or you want to get deeper into your numerology birth chart, you can check my website in the description. And if you'd like to book a session with me, feel free to. So again, I hope you guys enjoyed this video about One Life Path leaders. Until next time, have a beautiful day, beautiful souls. Bye.